Hey, what's up? It's your girl Kay here. Now, look, I'm sure these uncertain times have left you with quite a few questions. And if you're anything like me, one of the first ones was, what do I do about my money? Like, how do I budget or where do I even start? Let's check it out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Becca, girl, how are you? Catch me up. What's going on?
I'm good. I am quarantining in the Catskills right now with my family. It's a lot of family time that I'm not quite used to.
I have a few questions, especially about personal finance. How can I make sure that I am being secure and making the best decisions? Where do I even start? First off, where do I start?
Yeah, where do I start is probably the most common question that I get. I think if we've learned anything from the past month or so, it's that you need to be ready in case of an emergency, in case you lose your job. There's people who lost their jobs who in February would have told you that their job was 100% secure and it has nothing to do with their performance. It's just circumstances totally out of your control. So the number one thing that everyone should be doing if they don't already is building up an emergency fund. So generally, depending on if you have debt or not, but generally it's about 3 to 6 months of living expenses. So that way, if you lost your job, you would be able to live comfortably without panicking for at least 3 months. Having that built up, if you still have your income, that's the greatest thing you can do. And you can put that in what's called a high yield savings account. So everyone kind of knows what a savings account is, but high yield savings accounts essentially pay you to leave your money in them. So you earn a higher interest. Right now, a good interest rate's like 1.5%. Um,
Let me go find a notebook. Wait a minute.
yeah.
Okay. High yield savings account. Yes. Run me
Yeah,
through.
the ones that I recommend, and there's more. So like again, this if I don't say one that you have, it doesn't mean it's a bad one. But Marcus is one that I have. That's great. It's run by Goldman Sachs. And then another one that's great is called Ally. And so Ally has a little bit lower. So Marcus is 1.55 right now, and Ally is 1.5. But the reason I suggest Ally to a lot of people is it has buckets. So you can say, this is my emergency fund, and then this money is my vacation fund, and then this is like my pet emergency fund or whatever else you have. So it's kind of nice that you can designate money to different like emergencies or different events you're saving for.
Amazing. You just like put me on so heavy right now. You don't even know. Because not even kidding, I was so proud of myself, like patting myself on the back for having officially like started a savings account this year, right? It's like in the past you try and then it's like, maybe I'll dip in here and there. But I feel like I finally figured out like a trick for me personally, which is I've made it so that way I can't see my savings. Like I've taken it completely off of my online banking. So that way it's like out of sight, out of mind, AKA out of my pocket to be able to spend, right? But now I'm like, wait a minute, a high yield savings account, shoot, my savings can be making money. Let me find out.
Yep. But you make a great point about having it be like out of sight, out of mind. A lot of people are like, well, I like having my savings at my bank just in case it's close, but that's hurting you because you're more likely to spend it if it's at your bank. If you have
Right.
it somewhere else, it's further away. And if you want to manage it in one place, there's apps that do that, but it's further away. You're less likely to dip into it just because you'll really save
Right.
it for emergencies. So you're on like step 2 and we'll get you to step 3, but you're on your way.
I'm already I've already started. I love it. Perfect. All right. Well, now let's talk checklists. So, we've got savings down. Now I want to start budgeting. Um, where do I begin? Where do I start with budgeting?
Well, I'll see for everyone. I offer budgeting one-on-one. So if you need a coaching session, I can do that. But for other tips, I have a budgeting guide and I'll kind of walk you through like what that consists of. But the first thing that you can do is choose a platform. So I personally use Mint. It's an app and it automatically puts all my transactions in there because it's hooked up to my bank. And it's safe, so you don't have to worry about that. But I love it because it's automatic. Another option you can use is Excel. So you can manually type it in, which is a little bit more work, but a lot of people like that. They like the feeling of like, I have to type this in. I really feel the weight
Right.
of this transaction. Like it makes you stop spending. So like an app or Excel. And then the next thing you'll want to do is to write down all of your set expenses. So your rent is the same every single month. If you have a gym membership, that's the same every month. So the things that you know exactly how much they cost and they happen every single month. And that can be small. Like if you have a Spotify subscription, put that in there. If you have an iCloud subscription for 99 cents a month, which I do, I have too many pictures on my phone,
Same.
put that in there.
Same.
I know those 99 cents, they add up, every like little thing is, what your rent is. That's big, but all these little things you have to put in there too. So you get all the things that are easy, how much they cost there every month. And then you should write down the things that you spend on every month, but they're variable. So think groceries, utilities, anything like that, restaurants. I know we're not really going to too many restaurants at the moment, but
Quite a few.
when life opens up again, you will. So you do kind of those variable things. And then you think about something that doesn't happen every month. Like I get my hair cut maybe every 4 months. My hairdresser would like me to go more often, but that's about where we're at these days. So things like that, or vacations. And you just think, what's happening this month? So maybe you're looking at May and you think, what am I doing in May? And you put in exactly what you're going to spend on those things that are variable. And then you play it by ear. So don't beat yourself up the first month. It's a learning experience. And as time goes on, you get more and more accurate. And then don't be afraid to change it every month. So what you spend in May is not going to be the same as what you spend in June because your life is different. And so every month you'll want to make just those little adjustments to those variable categories so that you're setting yourself up for success rather than sticking to the same thing and you're going to not be successful because your life is different. So the hard part of budgeting, that's all the setup. The hard part is actually doing it. So whether that's on a daily basis or a weekly basis, whatever you want to do, I don't recommend a monthly basis. The longer you go between tracking your transactions, the less likely you are to do it. If you were to tell me like you have to go back and categorize all your transactions from the last 30 days, I'd be like, nope, not going to do that. So right. I do mine every single day. It takes me like a minute. It takes no time to do it every day. So that way I never have it built up and I never want to not do it because it's not a hassle if it's only one day. So that's something you have to stick to. Everyone just like wants to not do that part. But if you want to budget, that's just nothing is going to do 100% of the budgeting for you. You have to put in a little bit of effort, but not too much. It's not too hard.
Right. Getting better at looking through like my bank account, right? And like tracking, okay, where is my money going? Like just keeping an eye on that and my credit score, which maybe we can get to in another conversation in another video. But anything else that we, didn't cover, that we didn't talk about, that, maybe people should know right now, or just about budgeting in general. Maybe it's like a top question you get asked or like slid in your DMs. What do you think?
So I'll give you my number one budgeting mistake. So this is something that's super common. It's kind of two, but they'll come back to the same thing. So if I'm working with a client one-on-one in a coaching session, and let's say we're trying to figure out how much you spend on groceries, and you go back through your bank statement and you spent $150 on groceries last month, what I'll hear a lot of the time is, I'm just going to put $200 just in case. And if you do that, you are going to spend $200 next month because you said that you could. So be very careful about rounding up when setting up budgets because you're just allowing yourself to spend more and really try to be accurate. But kind of the other half of that is I'll have someone say, I spent $100. I think I can spend $40 on this next month and cut it more than in half or things like that. And if you do that, you may find that a week into the month, you've already spent that entire budget and you're going to be like, I don't think budgeting's for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. So again, when you start budgeting, just focus on trying to be as accurate as possible. It may seem like kind of strange that you're not restricting yourself because that's what a lot of people think budgeting is, but just trying to focus on getting the number down so you know exactly how much you spend in different categories. Then you can focus on bringing it down as kind of a second step.
So I'm so stoked for this next week or two of me giving this a go. And I can't wait. I'm going to tell all my friends about your page. But for those who don't already know, why don't you give us some more info? What can people find on your page and where can they find you?
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram at Blonde Broke and Bougie. Bougie is spelled like the song, so BOUJEE. You can find me on my website, blondebrokenbougie.com. You can reach out to me there. You can reach out to me in my DMs. I have a Facebook group called Blonde Broken Bougie Community. So you don't have to be embarrassed asking money questions. It's a little taboo for a lot of people, but that's the point of the group. So if you have this burning question, you can come join us and ask. And comment on other people's questions. It's a lot of fun. That's all.
I can't wait. Well, from brunette broken bougie to blonde broken bougie girl, thank you so much for these tips and ideas, and I can't wait to let you know how this goes. Yay! All right, girl. I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you soon.